Hello and welcome back to another comic series AMA. This month we're going to focus on questions centered on Breath of the Wild. For those who don't know, Breath of the Wild is an entry in the Zelda series. It actually focuses more on open world exploration rather than a more linear story. Last AMA, I enjoyed answering questions off the top of my head, and I'm going to try to continue to do that here. The first batch of questions comes from Angel Princess, first of which, did you play Breath of the Wild before the Switch had its video replay feature added? Yes, and actually, when I played Breath of the Wild, it was on the Wii U originally, so even if that feature had been added, I don't know if it was on the Wii U or not. Next question, which outfit set was your favorite aesthetically? I think actually the champion set, if only because that's the one that I think of when I think of Breath of the Wild Link in particular, and it's honestly really refreshing to see him in blue, not gonna lie. Next question, which outfit set was your favorite to use for its bonus set? Unfortunately, I actually played very little of Breath of the Wild in the grand scheme of things. You know, like I played maybe 30 hours, but that's a very, very long game. But I don't actually know a lot of the set's like bonus features. Of the ones I experienced though, I would say the climb faster and stealth bonuses tended to be ones I really liked. Next set of questions comes from Aquasun. First of which is, this seems to be one of your more popular series. How did it feel seeing the various comic dubs of it? And did it affect how you make comics? Interestingly, this is a series where I only really know of one dub for it, and it is a really fun one. If there are more, I don't really know of them, which I should, because one of my things in my FAQ is to ask me for permission to do it first, so I do know dubs are happening, as I mentioned, because of my FAQ, so it is always nice to see them. But I would say they don't really affect how I make comics at all, because I'm very much a do what I feel type of person. So, like, I don't really make anything in terms of like, oh, this is gonna be dubbed, I'm gonna change it up. It's like, no, I like seeing what people do with the comic as a base, as opposed to me working around dubs, if that makes any sense. Next question. How do you feel about the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom formula versus the previous 3D Zelda formula? The Breath of the Wild formula is neat and fun, but personally I'm a bigger fan of the more linear, older style. It is just what I grew up with, and open world is really fun, but I think that you get a bit more oomph in terms of like story and a set experience when it's linear. Like, obviously there's a bunch of cool, fun things that can happen to individual people, and it's like kind of their own experiences, but I kind of like experiencing something that was like set out to be. It's kind of like, if you compare it to like Animal Crossing, for instance, I've heard people say like, oh, they really like when the village was more set as opposed to making the town yourself, if that makes any sense. And both styles have their pluses, but I'm definitely like, I like to see something that people made specifically for us to experience as opposed to going around doing my own thing, because I think I get more of an impact from a specific set experience. That said, I do agree that things were getting a little bit stale with the old formula, so it was nice to get some pizzazz with this new one. If we get some games a bit closer to the old formula, but with some of the Breath of the Wild DNA, I think for me that'd be like perfect. But obviously I think we're going to be seeing some more Breath of the Wild types for a bit here, which is still great, but I'll probably wait a little bit before we get some more older style, maybe. I will say I'm also not a huge fan of the pattern of putting the more like story stuff in the Dynasty Warrior type of games as separate games. Like, they've done it twice now, with Age of Calamity, and then what is it, the Age of Imprisonment, I think they called it in the trailer. And it's like, that's neat, but on the other hand, it's like, why was that not, like, better done in the game itself, that the story is, like, originally from? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to buy a whole nother game for the story that should have been in this one? Just saying. Next question. Did you ever beat Breath of the Wild? Unfortunately, no. I don't own it, and I'm unable to access the file I was playing on that I used for the comics, as it's on someone else's system. Last question from Aquasun. Were there any memorable experiences that you didn't make a comic out of? I don't believe so, no. I'm pretty good at writing down things as they happen in the moment, and then going through all of them one by one when the series is chosen for the months. The next question, and the last question, is actually from a free member, which people were able to ask questions for the AMA for April as free members as a little taste of the reward. And the question is, or one of the questions, I know a lot of your Breath of the Wild comics are based off of you and your friends' experiences together. What other games did you like playing together? We mostly played JRPGs, but occasionally a platformer or two. And the last question, what is something that was really nice to have a reference for, but still hard to draw? I think I would say Pura? Her design was really cute and well done, but she does have a lot going on. And that was the last question of the month. So let's head on over to the end screen. Here you can see my lovely patrons scrolling by, along with my their patron NPCs. If you're interested in asking a question or any of the other rewards that come along with supporting me, check out my link to the Patreon in the description. Rewards include seeing comics before they're posted publicly, behind-the-scenes drawings, voting on which comic series will be featured next month, and more. Even without pledging, you can have access to things like preview panels, coloring pages, and occasionally some of the lower-tiered rewards as a little taste of what pledging can get you. As the example mentioned earlier, this was actually one of the months where free members could ask questions on the AMA, so there's a taste of it right there. Thank you to everyone and anyone who asked a question, and anyone that watched this video. The support means a lot to me. Until next month, bye!